Welcome to the Bold Move Makers channel. I'm Christy. Be sure and like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in. Today, I wanted to talk to you about being depleted. And if you, like me, have found yourself in a place to where you have wore yourself out, life has beat you down, you have gone through so many trials and tribulations, and it has gotten harder for you and not easier, I want to talk to that place in you right now that is saying it's too much and I'm ready to give up. I've been there. And honestly, sometimes when we get there, we can see deep down into depression. We are thinking about how hard it's been, and it's hard for us to see the positive things that can come from this season, but it does get better. There have been periods in life where maybe you've had to take care of a parent. Maybe you've been that single parent that has had to be the only one to take care of the kids, and you feel completely overwhelmed and like you have no help. Maybe you've been working for years and years, and in order to make ends meet, you've had to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs to be able to even feed yourself or feed your family. That can start to beat you down. And inside, you start to believe that life is always going to be hard. And trust me, that type of mental torture, believing that it's never going to get better, can make you sink deeper and deeper into depression and anxiety. Is that where you are right now? How have you found life to treat you in this season? Is it beating you up to the point to where you absolutely want to give up? Is it showing you that you don't deserve to have better? Are the voices that are speaking to you telling you that it's always going to be this way? Because when we listen to those voices, we can start to believe that we don't have another way out. And we can start to become desperate and feel like this is all that there is to life. And maybe when you start to believe that this is all there is to life, that you just rather give up. At one point in my life, when I really felt that, it started to sink deep into my psyche. And at one point, I couldn't even stop the negative voices. I mean, they were just loud, and I could just hear all of the voices telling me everything that I was not, and everything that life was not going to give me. And I started to believe it. And at one point, I was so depressed that I literally started to get these massive headaches. And these headaches were so bad. It was like migraines, but on steroids. And I didn't know what was happening with me. And I remember going to the doctor, and the doctor told me that I was suffering from a very rare disorder that was causing my body to shut down. And it kind of scared me because I'm like, man, I've never even been sick. I know I've been depressed, but man, am I depressed to the point to where my body is shutting down? I was young. I still had an entire life ahead of me, but I remember those voices. My life is over. I am never going to get through this. And it was very, very devastating to me at the time. And I had to go through, several treatments, and there was a 50-50 chance of living through this disorder. And by the grace of God, I'm here, right? So thank you that I survived it. But what that taught me was something very important. It is the power of the mind. Your mind is so powerful that whatever you ruminate on, whatever you think about constantly, that becomes who you are. I didn't believe the power of the mind at the time because nobody had ever taught that the mind was a weapon. And if you weaponize the mind against yourself, even in telling yourself, I'm tired, I'm over it, I'm done, this is too much, I can't do it, it's just been hard for my entire life, how am I ever going to get through this? If you allow your mind to tell you that, your life will start to manifest the fruit of those thoughts. It can trick us into believing that we have no future. It can trick us into believing that we don't have the power to overcome those negative thoughts. And that tired feeling that you're having is the fruit of what you think about. That exhaustion can be real. It absolutely can. You need rest. And sometimes we don't even feel like we can't even afford to take a rest. You can't take a day off, right? You are afraid that AI may be taking your job. So you're afraid to even take a day off that maybe, the boss will think that you're not all in. And, or you're feeling like, I can't afford to feed myself because the cost of groceries has gone so high. So how am I going to be able to take a day off? I'm paid hourly. What am I going to do? And you're tired. I get it. God knows that you're tired. There's a story in the Bible of Elisha. Elijah got so tired of all of the threats on his life that he ran to the wilderness and hid. And he was just wanting to die. He told God, just kill me. I don't even want to keep living. Just let me die. And in that story, it showed me the power of even the most powerful can get so depleted that even they wished that it was over. But he did not end there. He went on to be fed by God. He didn't immediately say, you know what, you should have done better in life. I gave you all the power to show that what my miracles were. He didn't come and beat him down. He told him to get some rest, woke him up, and gave him some food. Told him to go back to sleep again, woke him up, and fed him again. And that just shows how much mercy and how much grace is upon us when we are out of options, when we feel like it's over. And that shows the power of who God is. And it doesn't mean that you're going to have it all worked out or that some miraculous thing is going to happen, but that does mean when you need to rest. When you can afford to take those moments, clear your mind. And maybe you don't know how to stop the voices. I mean, at one point, the voices were talking to me so much, I was just like feeling like I was crazy, like psychotic. And, you hear the people, that are walking around and they say they hear voices. And that was me. I just wasn't in a crazy home, but I could hear the voices literally. And it was exhausting. And I remember having to tell my mind to just shut up, be quiet. And believing that I had the power to quiet my own mind, I literally started to believe that I had that power. It didn't come overnight, though. It started with me trying to understand, do I really truly believe that life can be better? Do I believe that God's power is strong enough to silence the voices and give me rest? Because I couldn't even sleep at that point. And he did. The voices stopped. I was able to get rest. It doesn't mean I'm having the most perfect, peaceful sleep, but some of us have gone through a lot in life. I was listening to a doctor earlier today talking about your nervous system and how increase in stress and cortisol keeps you from being able to sleep, and your body has to heal itself. And it doesn't happen overnight. And there's no one magic bullet to healing your nervous system. It literally comes over time. But the doctor was saying how sometimes when your nervous system is actually trying to heal itself, it actually looks like symptoms are getting worse instead of better when you're going through that healing process. And if that's where you are and you're finding yourself tired and you need to heal, it starts inside out. The external things you can do to try and heal, but that tired feeling that's in your soul, you've been so worn out in your soul that you need God to come in and give you deep rest. You need him to heal your nervous system. You need to regulate it, regulate your mind, your body, and your spirit. That's true. And so if you find yourself there, just trust that even if it looks impossible today, and even if that tired feeling is so hard today, you can find the rest that your body needs, and God will heal your soul from the inside out. And you'll find that you look younger, that you have more energy. And maybe if you need to just go to sleep, take the rest, give yourself permission to slow down, to speed up. All right. So I hope this message encouraged you. Don't let the tiredness and the worn out feelings of life take you down to where you believe that it's not worth it. It is so worth it to continue on the journey. And let's see where the end is going to take us. I believe we have a great future ahead. All right. Take care.